Good day and welcome everyone to First World Third Rails podcast. Your host, Marlon Taylor, aka Mayhem, aka Mr. Disruptive, my partner in crime, JD, aka JD. How you doing, partner?
I'm fine, thanks. And yourself?
Thank you for being my partner in crime.
Oh, it is a pleasure. It is an honor and a pleasure.
I'm coming to you from T-Mobile Park there, my friend, today.
T-Mobile Park, huh?
T-Mobile Park, home of the MLB All-Star Game. And we're going to talk about JD for our listeners, viewers. JD and I were just having a conversation prior to coming on air about how would
you articulate this?
What's the
Well, it
word?
depends. Do you want it to be a statement, or do you want it to be kind of an exposition?
We'll get to the defining. I just want to let our audience know we were talking about TikTok and YouTube and notoriety and success.
And when we were talking, you made it a statement, and I disagreed with your statement.
Yes, and we'll get to that statement. But first, a shout out to the city of Seattle. Some of our viewers might have caught our guest on our last podcast, we had 2 podcasts ago, Bernadette Riceley, who I talked to today and told her she saw the background. I told her Seattle did a phenomenal job with the MLB All-Star Weekend and all the festivities and experience that fans got. I obviously didn't go down and partake, but from afar, I could tell it. And I had friends that were down there texting me pictures, stories, and all that kind of stuff. Seattle did a great job. Great job. My only criticism, if you will, was our sweeping up, if you will, of the homeless people downtown Seattle to get them out of the drone shots, out of the view of the public, to pretend like we don't have a homeless situation here in Seattle. So that did not sit well with me, but the overall experience and how we showed this weekend was first rate, class act.
Well, I understand why they did it. I think if I were mayor of Seattle, I would probably do the same thing. Why? Because every mayor everywhere at a juncture like that does the same thing.
They do, but I would prefer focus and energy to remediate the problem versus hide the problem. But that's another discussion, another third rail topic for another time.
Yeah, I think we'd all prefer that. But
we'd all prefer
it as long as it's not in our backyard. It's the problem with resolution on a lot of these. In order to resolve them, if they're not there, where would they be? And everybody else is like, well,
we don't want them here. We don't want them there. We don't want to. Well, you got to put them somewhere.
Well, I'm sympathetic. I mean, I would not want a lot of homeless people
there, but for the grace of God, go I. So
but for sheer dumb luck.
Right. So I would prefer we have a different focus, and hopefully we will. But
all right,
back to the original point.
Is it short shrift or short shrift?
I have no idea.
We glossed over it.
Back to my original point, Seattle did a phenomenal job. I watched the MLB All-Star Game last night, the shots. And this is what I love because I live here. I'm sorry? National League, first time in over a decade.
Well,
I like it because for those back home in the DMV, like you, they get to see a shot of where Marlon lived, they get exposure to where Marlon lives. And as I told Bern,
that's what the Chiron was on the MLB game. It said, "This is where Marlon lives."
As I told Bern, there's 2 sides to that coin. Yes, my friends get to see the beauty of where I live and have lived for almost 30 years now. And the downside is they get to see where Marlon lives and the beauty of where Marlon lives. And everybody thinks, wow, Seattle's beautiful. I'll go live there. We don't want growth population here. So we love to keep that myth alive that you don't want to come here. It rains every single day.
Homeless or not, don't come here.
Don't come here. No, it rains every day, all day. But no, we showed well. It looked beautiful, and I was really proud of the effort and the job we did. Of all the events, not just the MLB All-Star Game, the Home Run Derby, the HBCU Classic, all of it. The Play Ball Park, they took, as you know, the Seahawks Stadium, Lumen Field, is right next door to T-Mobile Park. And so they converted that into Play Ball Park and gave fans the experience of baseball within Lumen Field. It's where they also held.
Is that a football stadium?
Yeah.
Okay, so they took where the Seahawks play.
Yep. And turned that into, Seattle does that. They did that when I first moved out here with the Final Four. They create areas and spaces that allow you to have an experience of what the MLB is all about.
In a football stadium.
They also had the Major League Baseball draft on Sunday in Lumen Field, Seahawks Stadium.
Well, I'm glad all that happened.
Yeah. I don't know the numbers.
Go
but
baseball.
I'm sure we were probably well north of 500,000 participants over the weekend.
Oh, I'm impressed. All right. So what was the subject at the top of the hour, big guy?
Yours truly believes that JD, for context, JD and I were talking about, and for the record, I want to state, JD and I do this podcast, First World, Third Rails, because we love doing it. We love talking to each other, which is something we've done for over 35 years.
Yeah, so it's effortless. We're definitely not exerting ourselves.
We brought what we've done for 35 years to the world of podcasts. As I've said multiple times, we have zero expectations of what this can become or will be.
And we're meeting them all.
Having said that, we do want subscribers. We do want followers. And I have maintained to JD, in the world of TikTok and YouTube, those that have been wildly successful with millions of viewers, push absolute garbage. Garbage sells in America. Let me say it again. Garbage sells in America.
Well, are you buying it? I'm not. I don't buy any garbage. I'm not on TikTok, so it doesn't sell.
I'm not on TikTok.
So two things can be. Two things.
I'm not on TikTok either. But you just went through the list of top 10, and I guarantee you, all 10 are pushing garbage.
I don't know that. I don't know what they do.
I know that.
I can't characterize it as garbage.
I know that for sure.
All right. So what I have to do is I have to resort to something called two things can be true at once. Actually, multiple things can be true at once. But
yes.
I need at least two things. So the first thing is, your statement is the most successful stuff is garbage. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And I'm going to say a statistically significant percentage of stuff is garbage. There's also a lot of.
That's where we're misaligned. You're saying a significant percentage. I'm saying 98%.
But that's not my experience. All the things that I experience are done by very smart people who are putting forward great ideas, and I'm thoroughly enjoying their thoughts.
You're an intellect. You know how to look for things that are intellectual versus garbage.
But that's okay. So I'll accept the intellectual moniker. Yeah, that's me. No, I'm just getting a lot of satisfaction. And people are offering said satisfaction in the form of quality product that appears on social media. So I'm just saying it's not all.
Not all. I didn't say all.
Well, you gave that impression. Are you just saying you're 99.8%?
A significant percentage is garbage.
Okay, so we just, in keeping with tradition, we just agreed.
Yes.
But not all.
The top revenue generators, that list you just went through, I guarantee you none of them, of those 10, are talking about on TikTok AI or robotic process automation
and thank God.
Software as a service. None of that.
Well, that's stuff that we like. That's not necessarily stuff that people who aren't in that space like. Okay, so who are since I can't get on the TikTok,
No, I
can't
don't.
even
I don't.
pronounce it.
I don't want. I don't want to. I don't want to peel that onion back. I already know. I already know.
I was going to do YouTube because I'm on YouTube a lot.
All the YouTube millionaires push what?
Okay.
You already know the answer to this question. You already know which videos get the most likes, get the most hits. You already know. This is why we have reality TV shows.
All right. So Mr. Beast, do you know what Mr. Beast, how he got started? He started by giving out money. So he has 160 million subscribers. He's number one. And I would characterize him as human interest. I don't know if he's garbage. Is he? I don't know.
Let me translate it for you.
And then the next one I've heard of, but I've never seen, PewDiePie.
Let me translate. Let me translate that for you. Garbage.
Okay. So like Nastia, that looks like a little girl. So it's probably a kid's thing. Coco Melon, which is nursery rhymes. That's 101 million subscribers. I'm not going to say nursery rhymes are garbage. I'm just not going to do it. Maybe it is. Ryan's World, which is some kid. Isn't that fascinating? Vlad and Nikki, who are kids.
Oh my God. I rest my case. Your Honor.
Awega German.
Your Honor,
the German is.
The prosecution rests.
You know, you're killing me here because it's looking pretty grim. I can't make it garbage.
I know it's grim. This is why I made the statement.
Okay, so German Garmendia is the first YouTuber to receive 2 diamond plates. He has a musical career, so he's a musician. All right, so maybe he's a really good musician. Kids Diana show.
What's his name?
There are a lot of kids in the top 10.
Yes, of course. What's his name? Because we're talking about a kid's medium here. This is how kids learn.
German Garmendia. He is at number.
I don't think I recognize that name.
He's at number 7. And I don't think he's going to be garbage. I don't know. Kids Diana. Oh, Blippi.
Your Honor, the prosecution rests.
Blippi has 84.5 million subscribers, but is that garbage because it's kids? And then some guy named
I'm not going to besmirch all kids. I'm not going to be
number 10, 77.4 million subscribers. How a YouTube star, it's paywalled, of course. So it looks like a Mr. Beast type, just a guy.
Oh, God.
And it says these creators create a variety of content, including gaming, challenges, comedy, music, and educational videos. They have all amassed a large following of fans who enjoy their content. But with 7 billion people on the surface of the planet and YouTube being available to everybody everywhere, I don't think it's entirely meaningful what the top 10 are doing. But
that's the most viewers. What are you talking about?
It would actually start to encompass the statistically significant percentage, because if somebody has 100 million viewers and then you have 100 million other channels with 1 viewer like us,
right?
Then what you're saying is true. 99.8 billion.
Exactly. So glad
I get a lot of good stuff off YouTube, and I like it a lot.
I'm not disputing that at all.
Okay, good. So it's not exactly a third rail then.
In fact, I had just about an hour ago offered to my beloved better half, who's going to go get her hair cut. I was like, honey, I can cut your hair. I just go to YouTube, we get a video, and I follow the video.
Hey, I cut my own hair. I think it's probably
so do I.
I use this device.
I don't use that
product
device.
pitch. This is
I don't use that device.
It's a titanium trim, and it's great. It was like $30, and I mean, I still look like myself. That would really be a fine product if I could not look like myself. Like if I were to use it, and then I would look like somebody else.
I do. Here's what I use.
What do you use? Is that a
Oh,
razor?
Gillette.
Gillette, the baldest a man can be.
Since 1994.
1994. Now you still had hair in 94, right?
That was the last year I had hair.
What was, do you remember the precise moment you're like, I'm doing this? Do you remember what
Yes,
caused it?
yes, yes.
What was it?
My trip to Seattle.
Oh,
My business trip to Seattle was February of 1994. I couldn't get to the barbershop. And for context and full disclosure, I was paying 4 times a month, $60 to $100 a month to leave 1/8 of an inch on the top and nothing on the sides.
precisely 1/8 of an inch.
Precisely
Is that
1/8.
called a fade or something?
Yeah. And so I couldn't get to my barber, who I'd been to for over 20 years, Jesse Thompson. God bless him. Don't know if he's still around. If he is, love you, brother.
Yeah, my barber's name was Omid, and I went to him for decades. Yeah, so
Jesse Thompson on 18th Street, Northeast DC, where I went every Saturday. It was a gentleman's club. And I couldn't get there, so I decided, okay, I got the trip. I'm just going to shave it all off, and off to Seattle I go. Been that way ever since.
Well, that's a great story.
Been that way ever since.
Did you own a cat or a dog when you shaved it off?
No.
I was gonna... You left, and when you came back,
What the heck is, who the
hell
heck
are
is
you?
that?
I've had that happen with pets when you put a hat on.
So my better half,
like-
I go, honey, I don't understand what the big deal is. And she's like, honey, listen, not everyone can be bald. Not every guy can look like you if he shaves his head.
You look good bald. I have no,
Thank you, brother.
I'm hoping not to discover.
Yeah. Hang on to it as long as you can, right? I can't
Thin
even,
skin.
I can't imagine myself with hair. I have a picture of the whole Soul Train fro. I'll have to, do you want to see that?
Yeah, I do.
I can share that. Hold on.
Come on.
Let's get
Yeah,
that.
my hair's thin, and I have two types of hair. I have crispy on the
Crispy.
side and wispy on the top.
I don't think I've ever
Crispy and wispy.
I don't think I've ever referred to my hair as crispy. That's a good one.
Well, it's more robust on the side. That's standard white dude.
Robust.
Yeah.
I'm all about, obviously,
There's
shiny.
plenty on the side and almost none on the top.
I'm all about shiny. I get complimented. Marlon, your head is shining like a beacon. Oh, here it is.
There's a song in there somewhere.
We can make one.
I'm just
You
going
want to see Marlon with hair? All right. Normally, for whatever viewers are tuned into this, you'd have to go to the Smithsonian. Marlon's going to do a solid because my birthday's coming up. I'm in a good mood. I'm going to share with the audience what is locked down in the Smithsonian. You would have,
so we're flashing a warning. Warning.
we're flashing a warning. You would have to go to the Smithsonian to see this. I'm going to share it with you here on our show today.
Oh my God, that is magnificent. That is magnificent.
The Don Cornelius Soul Train fro right there.
Oh my God, that is absolutely incredible.
I'm with Twin. That's one of the twins that lived one door down from me, man. That is Marlon with the full fro right there, brother.
That is absolutely magnificent. Kudos, man.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for sharing that.
Oh man, I used to have that. That was, oh man, you know, I was always, you know, since probably a significant age, my early teens, 6'5", 6'9" with the afro. Shout out to Chevy Chase and Fletch, the movie.
Well, what would happen if you grew it out now? Would you be 6 foot wide?
Yeah, I'd be 6 foot wide, and it would be. I tell this story a lot, right? This was.
I mean, I'm assuming you've lost it on top, like
this was damn near 20 years ago. when I was still had a twinkle left of athleticism and was playing softball out here. And I decided, you know what, this is the beginning of the softball season. I said, I'm going to butch up and just kind of not grow a beard, but grow a goatee, because a lot of baseball players wear it. Unless you play for the Yankees, you can't have any facial hair if you play for the Yankees. But a lot of baseball players have
Didn't know
goatees.
that.
Yeah. Oh, next time you watch a Yankee game, see if you see anybody anywhere on the roster with facial hair. The Yankees do not permit that. But I decided I would grow a goatee to butch up for softball. It came in as white as Santa Claus's beard. And I'm like, okay, that ain't
Okay.
Butch. That
That's
ain't Butch.
fascinating.
That is not Butch. So
I can't grow a beard, so
I have to shave every day. I don't know how people go without shaving. I know a lot of people, especially in the Black community, they let the hair grow, let their beards grow. I can't do it. I did it early on.
do you use an electric razor or do you use a regular one?
I just showed you.
Oh, you use, so you're like,
That's it. Up and over.
what's the longest stroke? Do you like, oh?
Yep, that's it.
I use an electric razor, so that helps.
Well, there you go. Beauty tips from Marlon and JD.
Yeah, don't write them down.
Don't write them down.
What am I doing? I'm looking through news. There's a lot going on.
FBI Director Wray testified. I just caught that in the corner of my eye. Testified today, and according to Representative,
Where did he testify? With Congress?
Yeah, and according to Representative Andy Biggs, he will be held accountable for the lie he told this morning, which is he doesn't believe there were any undercover FBI agents in or around the Capitol on January 6th. That lie has already been debunked. And Representative Biggs is saying he will be held accountable for telling that lie today at Congress. We will see. But that's problematic to me to come before Congress and lie.
So you're saying he did lie? Why
Yeah.
would he lie about that?
I don't know, but we know.
And who says he lied? I mean,
we
Andy
know.
Biggs, Andy Biggs could say anything, and
we know there were undercover agents present at the Capitol on January 6th. We already know that. They've been indicted.
Okay, hold on. You're talking about agents, FBI agents.
Yes.
Okay, I consider myself moderately well informed. What the hell are we talking about here? Okay, bring me up to speed, big guy. I'm confused. I would expect that there are FBI agents in and around the crowd all the time. So I would expect them to be there like Secret Service.
What Representative Biggs is saying is that the lie that FBI Director Wray told this morning, that he doesn't believe undercover FBI agents were participating in January 6th, has been debunked.
Participating in January 6th. So my interpretation of January 6th would be ascend the stairs, cross the terrace, enter the building.
Yes.
If somebody was physically present on the ellipse, walked to the Capitol, stayed relatively outside the perimeter, which I would characterize as the lower steps, I would not call them participants.
If you were in the crowd breaching the line.
Breaching, that's the word, good word.
Breaching the line that was drawn, that barricade, you are now a participant.
All right, so today is July 12, 2023. This happened on January 6, 2021.
Correct.
So we're talking over 2 years. There's no way in hell that the head of the FBI would not have the best insight into this situation of any one of the 330 citizens of the United States.
And he just lied to Congress saying that he didn't believe.
He didn't believe that any FBI agents participated in the January 6th insurrection.
But we already know that they have. That lie has
Who
been.
are they and how did they participate? I don't know this. I'm not challenging you. I'm asking.
not only were there FBI agents, there are also firemen and police.
I'm going to ask
officers.
you a favor. That part I understand. Can you still hear my voice even though I'm frozen?
You look a little frozen.
I look frozen, but at least I'm not doing.
Your hair looks good though while you're frozen. We know that there were firemen. We know that there were police officers.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in the whole FBI thing. If you could help me understand, because I am not understanding what you're laying down.
What I am laying down is that FBI representatives of the Federal Bureau of Investigation have been indicted as participants on January 6th. That is what Representative Biggs is saying. We already know that we've gotten indictments on personnel who belong to the FBI who were there and participating. And he is saying this is the last statement in his tweet. Ray will be held accountable for this lie. We already
That's
know
Andy
that.
Biggs. Andy Biggs. I cannot overstate how meaningless Andy Biggs is.
How is I don't care about his relevancy. What he is saying is that lie has already been debunked because they've been
I don't know that. If Andy Biggs is saying somebody is lying, I assume it's a lie.
They have been charged. So we already
Who are
know
they?
the FBI participants.
Okay, I want to figure this out. This is actually of keen interest to me. In other words, we're actually contributing to this chain of disinformation if we don't figure out what it is.
No, we are not contributing.
Okay, Andy Biggs is an American attorney and politician who is a representative for Arizona's 5th Congressional District.
Yes.
He's a member of the Republican Party. So from my perspective, sorry, everybody, he cannot be trusted. So if he says somebody's lying, I assume that other person is telling the truth.
Okay.
Okay, who were the FBI agents?
I don't know. Chat's going GPT going to return that. What I advise you to do, we're not going to do it here in the confines of the time we have on this podcast.
I'm not taking any time.
I would suggest you go under. No, I would suggest you go under the Twitter feed of the person who has covered this the closest, Scott McFarlane, who has detailed almost every participant that has been charged and gone to trial.
Okay. There were 2 FBI, bear with me. There were 2 FBI's agents who were arrested for participating in the January 6th insurrection. Jared L. Wise was arrested in 2023 and charged with 4 misdemeanor counts. He was accused of entering the Capitol. Mark S. Ibrahim was arrested in July 2021 and charged with 1 count of entering and remaining in a restricted building. He was accused of entering the Capitol on January 6th.
That's participation.
Okay, so Biggs must be misrepresenting what Ray said. All right, so I'm going to Twitter. What's the guy's name? Because you got to understand, a lot of people are probably kind of like me. They're like, what?
Well, then you need to catch up.
I am trying to catch up in real time.
Because FBI is one of many who have sworn an oath to this country that were there on January 6th, including police officers, including firemen.
I'm okay with some FBI agents being present.
No, I'm not okay with that at all.
Being
present is
what you're making is valid. They were charged. So Scott who?
McFarlane.
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 680.
Who?
I have many Scott McFarlanes.
Let me help you out here.
McFarlane.
McFarlane. McFarlane. At McFarlane News.
At McFarlane News
is his Twitter handle. CBS News congressional correspondent. And he has followed this trial 40 minutes ago. Busy and impactful day at DC federal court for January 6th defendants. Brian Mock, a Minnesota man accused of assaulting and shoving police and taking police riot shield, is found guilty by a federal judge. He had a prior conviction and had been accused of, in 2010, of directing a gun at 3 kids.
Can I ask you a favor? Could you give me the guy's handle, not his name? Scott McFarlane is taking me all over hell's
All
happy.
right, here, coming to you in the chat window here.
On a dusty road. All right.
McFarlane News.
Okay.
Oops, put a S where that A is at the end. Yeah.
Control copy. So it's going to be Control
At
V. McFarlane News. Okay.
News.
Scott McFarlane at McFarlane News. He is a person. Okay.
CBS.
Yeah. Busy and impactful day. I'm caught up to you. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Scott. Okay.
So if you
okay, I don't see Scott McFarlane agreeing with Biggs.
Go down through because the 2 that have been convicted of the misdemeanors were certainly in you will find him in his feed. He has done a masterful job with each of the trials and each of the defendants and the outcome of said trials and defendants. In fact, Scott McFarlane, if you had the pleasure to speak with him directly, he would tell you, that Marlon Taylor guy on Twitter has consistently said to him, would a person of color get the same outcome in their trial as
I like
whoever?
that. But here's the issue. I'm not seeing the person that you have presented to me as a subject matter expert, Scott McFarlane, saying anything about Andy Biggs.
Why would he?
Because Andy Biggs is saying that
Ray
lied.
Yes, he did. You just proved that he lied.
No, you're connecting 2 things that don't. Andy Biggs is saying
Director
Ray said something, but I don't know that Ray said it. What did Ray say?
The video is with the tweet. Director Ray is saying he doesn't believe there were any FBI agents participating in January 6th.
So he's with the tweet that Biggs made?
Oh God.
These are legitimate questions.
Hold on. Just hold the phone, dude. Here is the tweet.
So why wouldn't Scott McFarlane be all over this?
Because he's not in the congressional hearings. He's at the trials. Representative Andy Biggs, FBI Director Ray just told me he doesn't believe there were any undercover FBI agents in or around the Capitol on January 6th. This claim has already been debunked, including by former U.S. Capitol Police Chief. Ray will be held accountable for this lie.
Were the 2 FBI agents there in an official role undercover?
No, that's not what he's saying.
Then Ray didn't lie.
What do you mean he didn't lie?
A lot of these people that you were referring to, law enforcement people, they were not in their official capacity. Are you saying that these 2 FBI agents were not
part of the mob?
Were
part of the mob that breached the Capitol.
I agree with that part, but they weren't functioning as FBI agents.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Oh, it hugely matters.
No, it doesn't.
It hugely matters.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, Christopher, I am correct. Christopher Ray is not lying. He's saying there were no FBI agents undercover on the clock with the FBI when the building was breached. That's the statement he's making. That is not a lie. There were FBI agents who were not on the clock, and they were not in an official role for the United States government.
Do we know that? We don't know that.
But you just told me. I challenge you. I said, were they on the clock? You said
you're missing a key point of Biggs' statement in that tweet. The claim has already been debunked, including by the former U.S. Capitol Police Chief.
I'm telling you, anything Andy Biggs says I would treat as highly suspect.
I treat everything a Republican says as highly
All right,
suspect.
so why are you having so much trouble appreciating
Because
that
we
I don't
know,
give a rat's ass about what Andy Biggs said until I figure it out? I'm not going to take anything it says at face value. Like if you told me something, I would take it at face value. I would be like, I'm going to go
because I
research what Marlon
because I
said. I
never
would be like,
because I never
Marlon
lie to you.
told me this, so I believe it. What?
Because I never lie to you.
That's the point I'm making. These fuckers lie all the time, and they cannot be trusted. So there are
That's
no
what he's saying
circumstances
about
under which
Ray.
I would
That's-
take anything that Andy Biggs says at face value. And everything I've learned subsequently to your opening statement is that there were no on-duty FBI agents undercover who breached the Capitol.
We'll find out.
That's fine. They're two separate things. I
We'll
just
find
can't
out.
fathom that Christopher Wray, who was the FBI director for Trump and is now the FBI director for Biden, and that's no mean feat.
No, it isn't.
So you have to assume that the transition team met with Christopher Wray.
Yes.
They're like, dude, we're going to spend some quality time. They spent a shit ton of time
Yes.
ascertaining for themselves whether Christopher Wray should remain
Yes.
in that role. Now,
Yes.
typically they're appointed for 10 years, but they can be disappointed like that.
Right.
And Biden decided to keep Christopher Wray because there were elements of Christopher Wray's resume that spoke very highly of his integrity and his dedication to service.
Yes.
I'm presuming he is the best informed person to answer the question, were any on-duty FBI agents in an undercover role, and did they enter the U.S. Capitol on January 6th?
And
If
he
Ray
is
said
saying
no,
he's unaware.
I'm tempted. I would believe Ray. What's that?
I would like to believe him, but as you just pointed out, they all lie. So
No, just because he's a Republican doesn't make him a liar. Biggs has a history
of lying,
of bending everything. Biggs is not an honest broker.
The trusted source here.
He's not a trusted source, not to me anyway.
So we need to get to the facts.
Yes. So I believe that a lot of what we're seeing, and we went through this the other day, we talked about this. We talked about not Halsey. Halsey's the artist. Nikki Haley.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we did that thing in the last conversation where Nikki Haley comes on camera and she says, President Harris.
Right.
And I believe that's performance art. I think a statistically significant percentage of what the Republicans are doing right now is performance art. And I saw something that I really liked from, was it Tommy Tuberville?
Oh God, please don't mention him.
Yeah, but they're of a kind. They're all part of that Freedom Caucus. And I heard somebody talk about it and they said, we want a permanent white majority. And that is the stated objective for a lot of white people, is they want a permanent white majority, which can no longer be architected through the electorate. And that's why you have all this other activity to skirt the electorate and instill a permanent white majority, irrespective of elections.
The will of the voters.
So they are of a kind, and they have no shame because they believe their cause is just. You know, they believe that people of color and LGBTQ are a subhuman species who don't deserve to be in charge. So it is a just cause, and Biggs is part of that group.
Well, a day of reckoning is coming for that group.
Yes, let's hope so. But it doesn't change the fact that they are going to be doing performance art, and because they're making sure that they keep their people in formation, and they're making sure that they're unilaterally aligned.
By feeding them red meat that we know.
Now, Tuberville did something that has become also part of the performance art. He said he would not agree that white supremacists are racist or some permute. It's just word salad. And then he apologized.
Words matter.
Is that his I think they're called, are they bona fides?
Words matter.
It doesn't matter. He'd already said it. He got the points. Tommy gets points, and then he apologizes just so he can.
And he knows what he can do with that apology.
Yeah, from us, but it's just performance art. And I'm
Words-
actually quite happy about it.
Words matter.
We were talking about people who are putting together quality product in podcasts and stuff. And what I'm hearing increasingly is I just hear a litany of he's a lying, misogynistic, twice impeached, twice convicted. In other words, the language has changed materially. And I
But
think
that doesn't matter because they're an occult. They're going to still support them. In the short time we have
be the
left,
change you want to see, be in the majority, and they recognize it and we recognize it.
in the short time we have left, I want to pivot to something that's
Are you saying you're going to take us out at an hour?
Hey, I'm going to try.
Oh, you are. I'm down for that.
I didn't say I was. I said I'm going to try. Those are two different things. I want to pivot in the short time we have left to something far more critically important.
More important than the fate of the nation. Okay, I'm with you.
Than Biggs and Director Ray.
All right.
I have learned today. Oh, this is going to pain for me to say this. I have learned today that Hard Knocks, HBO Hard Knocks, has decided the team that they're going to cover this year.
They decided to change the team they're going to cover?
No, they've decided who they're every year they cover.
Oh, okay. So they've made the decision.
Yes. Oh, I need an air sick bag.
Who is it?
The New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, that's a great one.
No, that sucks.
That's a great one.
That sucks.
That's a great one.
What are they going to have? To my Bronco fan who texted me a response, what are we going to have? 5 episodes of eating mushrooms in the dark? Is that what the fuck we're doing here?
No, this is actually kind of interesting. And I'll tell you in part why.
I have no interest in Aaron Rodgers, but go ahead.
Well, I've never watched Hard Knocks, but I don't find it as
beautiful show.
as you do.
Beautiful show.
All right. So you're saying you're not going to watch?
I'll watch it with an air sick bag because Aaron Rodgers is the last person I want to hear from or watch.
All right. Well, let me tell you why I had a favorable reaction.
Why? Aaron Rodgers.
Say what?
Aaron Rodgers.
No, I really like Robert Saleh.
I do too.
And when he comes to the podium, do you remember we were talking about those Tennessee guys?
Yep.
Daryl and
yep.
Behind
the shooting.
I feel guilty.
Yep.
I wrote their names down. I'm not going to
behind the shooting. Yes.
So Robert
Saleh.
Okay, thank you. Saleh, when he talks, he says things that people should hear.
Agreed. He is as close to, in terms of head coach and the statement that you just made, he is as close to Mike Tomlin as anyone else in the league.
Yes. When Tomlin speaks, you need to
listen. You shut the hell up and listen.
Speaking of shut the hell up and listen, I'll shut up and listen to you, but I'm going to submit something.
Okay.
So, and I'm speculating here and I'm bringing you my white man's vision, but it seems to me that if you're a black coach, you're literally, and you're performing at that level, you're literally twice as good. You have to be twice as good.
Yeah.
3 times.
That could apply to our role.
I have no fucking idea.
That could
when
apply.
Tomlin speaks and when Saleh speaks, they are literally speaking across vast. It's like the stadium is bigger. In other words, I think it'll be a good Hard Knocks because I think we want to hear from him. And
we do, but Aaron Rodgers is why I grabbed the air sick bag. But to your point, Robert Saleh, I think is
But something else is going to happen. I think this is from a guy who doesn't watch Hard Knocks, but I think this is going to be valuable. And I'm going to have to go to a white dude, right?
Right.
Who has demonstrated this intangible characteristic that we're talking about of late.
Okay.
It's Sean Payton.
Okay.
And Sean Payton just basically took Russell Wilson,
shrunk him back down to the rest
shrunk him back down,
to the rest of us.
reinserted him into the team. And he
I don't know that
he did it in private, but he also did it in public.
I don't know that Saleh's going to be able to do that with Aaron Rodgers. One.
Well, that's one reason I would be interested in hearing how it turns out.
Two, I don't know that he wants to, because you don't want to put a governor on Aaron Rodgers.
No, when I talk about,
you needed a governor on.
There were things that were happening with the Broncos,
right,
that were departures from standard procedure.
Right.
So I agree with you. I think Rodgers is a unique talent, and that he is going to contribute materially.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be able to exist outside the system. I think Saleh will actually be actually be able to bring him into the system, and I think he'll like it. Because he had he lost respect for,
I think that
who's the coach of the Cowboys now?
Mike McCarthy.
McCarthy. Okay. Rightly or wrongly, he lost respect for McCarthy.
Rightly or wrongly.
Rightly or wrongly. And then I think he had respect for LaFleur.
He lost it. Doug LaFleur.
Well, something happened there. Who was the play caller in Green Bay that went to Denver? Hackett. So when they had 13-4 seasons or 13-3 seasons.
Yep.
You've talked about this repeatedly. You said job number one, win the division.
Right.
So they won their division.
Right.
They won it. Going away.
Right.
And Hackett left, rough year. I don't know that it's a function of respect, but Rodgers just basically pissed in the wine. In other words, once he lost his receiver.
And then Hackett, he pissed in the wine.
In other words, the wheels.
Now he and Hackett are reunited in New York. That will help.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
It will help. And here's the thing that needs to be pointed out. And to your point, this is why this is another brick in the barrel of why the Jets make sense for Hard Knocks. Because Aaron, in his first year in New York, is going to be on his best behavior. In other words, if Aaron were
an interesting storyline, what the fuck is going to happen?
If Aaron were in Green Bay, Aaron would not be participating in OTAs. But he is.
Will he be at OTAs?
He is participating. He did participate in OTAs in Green Bay.
When did they start?
They've already started and finished.
Oh, okay.
Training camp is coming up on my birthday. That's when veterans start to report to training camp. That's why I love my birthday. The only reason I love my birthday is because veterans start reporting to camp.
The only reason you love your birthday?
Yeah. Training camp is the signal of football.
Well, I like your birthday. Why? Because it's your birthday. Oh, as an aside, it starts.
It starts training camp, and training camp is where rosters get built. So I'm a big fan of training camp.
So did you change your own mind
on
a lot of the points that you've made
on the Jets
of Jets being on Hard Knocks? You've made at least half of them.
I have an issue with Aaron Rodgers. So
that's separate, and that might actually make Hard Knocks more interesting.
It is. Hard Knocks to me will always be interesting. A bit facetious saying it's the Jets and I need an air sick bag, but that's because of Rodgers. Hard Knocks is one of the best shows because it allows the fan, casual and advanced, both, to get a glimpse of what it's really, really like
I
even,
can watch it. Don't you have to be like on NFL Network or some such thing?
no, HBO. So if you can stream
Don't you have to
HBO,
be on HBO or some such thing?
if you can stream HBO, you can see it.
I can't stream HBO.
How can you not stream HBO? That's one
I've
of the
never
easiest
streamed
things,
HBO. What's
one
on
of the easiest
HBO?
things in the world to stream.
Uh,
You do realize that everything is going there, right?
where streaming?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we have Netflix.
Exhibit
We
A,
have Prime.
Exhibit A,
Exhibit B.
Exhibit B,
And
Paramount,
we have
Exhibit
Hulu.
C.
Now, if you're wondering why we have Hulu, it's because General Hospital streams on Hulu.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
So if you go to your streaming sources,
No HBO.
you can watch Hard Knocks, which last year I thought had one of the best seasons that they've done in a long time, doing the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell and I'll chew you off at the knees and that whole 9 yards. It really gives casual and advanced viewers a glimpse of that life behind Sunday, right? What coaches go through, what players go through to be able to put themselves in a position to have success at the NFL level. I love that show. I love what they share, what they show. I'll borrow one of my better halves comments in all of her years, because she's been with me for 20 years, of her years of watching that show. And to this day, if I brought her up on camera right now, she would tell you this. She is amazed at the professionalism by everybody involved in the NFL. In other words, an example of that professionalism, almost everyone who plays in this league, your life dream is to play in the NFL. And not everybody's going to realize that dream. And Hard Knocks gives you the behind the scenes look at that moment that dream comes crashing down when you get that call into the office.
Oh, you're saying it's like a car wreck?
Well, no, I'm not talking about the physical. I'm not
Is it like watching Talladega waiting for a car wreck?
Yeah, kind of like that, where you get that call to come to bring your playbook. You know what that means when they
Well,
tell
now
you to
I know why I am not watching it, because too many dash dreams will give me nightmares.
It is, to my better half's point, she is astounded when they come in knowing, because you've been asked to when you're asked to bring your playbook, your career with that team is over. Your hope is that you've put enough good tape together that somebody else might pick you up and give you an opportunity. If they don't, chances are your NFL dreams end in that moment in that office. And my better half's point is how professional the coaching staff, typically the head coach, is, and
Well, I mean, sadly, he's had a lot of practice usually.
And how professional the players are in receiving that news. That's the astounding part. Unlike us in the software IT world, where, I've had my moment of professionalism. Marlon, I hate to inform you, we're going to have to let you go. Okay, what's the bad news? We'll always be linked.
That's true. To the uninitiated, we were both released the same day.
The same day at the same time, and to give context.
And I think our relationship kind of could. I mean, we were basically,
it exploded from there
simultaneously.
And for context, I can't remember who was bought in first, whether it was me or you.
I hired you, dude. So
I know. I just remember going into said person's office, and he's like, "I got bad news. We're gonna have to let you go." And I said, "Okay, what's the bad news?"
What's the bad news?
And his face turned so red.
Somebody else went also, the guy that we reported to originally.
Yes.
Who we adored.
So it
was a good time, but I mean, you have a changing of the guard. In fact, if I think about it, most of the substantial changes that have been laid on top of me in a professional corporate environment have been done by people I didn't have a relationship with, who just appeared on the scene.
Right,
It's
right,
just a recurring
right.
nightmare. And speaking of athletics, if a coach brings you in, there's a higher probability you're going to stick than if you're there from a previous regime.
Right.
So it's just, it's the
And
old.
it's also a numbers game. It's also a number game as you try and formulate the 53-man roster and the practice squad. But
53, huh?
yeah, but my better half just marvels at the fact that their reaction to being told your dream is over is so professional. And
Well, the ones.
I go, honey, it's a business.
We don't see all of them.
We don't see all of them, but we see the high profile ones. And I go, honey, it's a business. They understand that. They understand that only 53 have the opportunity to don the star on the side of the helmet in the case of the Dallas Cowboys.
1,696 across the 32 teams.
Yep. Which is why if you ever noticed, if you have NFL Network, which I assume you don't, if you ever notice or watch a Dallas Cowboy training camp, there's never stars on the side of their helmets.
There aren't?
No. You only get the star when you make the 53-man roster.
Ooh, that's exciting.
It is. It is.
I can say with complete confidence, I'll never get a star.
I'll never get a star either.
All right. Well, on that note, since both of us are mutually agreed, we'll never get stars.
We'll never get stars. I can steal one, but I'll never get one to
You can go to the shop and buy one.
You can do that.
Well, you know what, Marlon? You'll always be a star to me, man.
On our next episode, I'm going to touch on something football related. I'm not going to do it today because I'm about to take us out, but I've got it queued up on my DVR and I haven't watched it yet. That's why I'll touch on it on our future episode next week. I'll probably touch on it. NFL Network has a program running called A Football Life. And it documents individuals. Like my better half and I watched probably 2 or 3 this last week. The last one we watched was Reggie White and Jerome Brown of the Philadelphia Eagles and their story. Emmitt Smith and his story. Jimmy Johnson, Jerry Jones and their story. How they came to be, how he became Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. So they pick individuals and they just give you the whole story of how they got to become who they are. And the one that I have queued up that I haven't watched that I'll touch on next week is someone that I knew personally. And that was Dexter Manley. I knew Dexter.
That's quite a story.
Dexter got all the way into the NFL, and I'm sure A Football Life will touch on this aspect. He got all the way into the NFL as a member of then the Washington Redskins without having the ability to read. How do you get...
Fill us in, big guy. I mean, after you watch it, of course.
How do you get through your education? It's one of the flaws of the system, unable to read.
Well, it's really not a flaw in the system if you consider that he shouldn't have had to go to school anyway.
Why shouldn't he have had to go to school?
Did he go to university?
Yeah, I believe he did. I can't remember.
Yeah, if you go to Europe, all of this is already figured out.
We ain't in Europe. We're in America.
All right. Well, let's bring it up next time. We can argue about that.
We're in America where you got to go to school.
I know, but the point is that when you look at something that is a flaw in the system, it occurs. There are a lot of different places to tag the flaw.
How do you graduate college without? How do you get through college without being able to?
You shouldn't have to go to college to go to the NFL.
There has been not one instance of someone going from high school to the NFL.
That's wrong.
No, it isn't. That's safety. That's safety.
That's bullshit.
That's safety.
You know,
basketball.
As a white dude who is part of
basketball, baseball. Yes, I agree. Not football. Not football.
But not good enough for football.
Not football.
All right, well, listen, take us out because I think we're going to go over 1 trillion hours and
We
we'll cover that next time.
we thought we were
and
getting out of.
I will prove to you how wrong you are.
Okay, I look forward to that. We thought we were getting out in an hour. It's 1 trillion, but on behalf of Marlon, JD, coming to you from T-Mobile Park off the heels of MLB All-Star, we thank each and every single one of you, because there's only
Both
one
of
of you, who supports us. Catch us First World Third Rail. Catch us on Twitter. Catch us on YouTube. Catch us on Spoutable. Like us, hate us, comment us, but subscribe to us, please. We need your subscription because
All
we
right.
want to be.
I think it's critical that
We want to
beg-
be in that top 10 Chat GPT TikTok millionaires at the end of the year.
You know,
Yes.
I was okay.
Till I
So
said
you
that.
reminded me how tiny and meaningless I am.
We both are.
You're
But
very
hey,
kind. Thank you for
listen,
joining me here in the tiny and meaningless group.
listen. Here's what I will leave everyone
Totally
with.
irrelevant.
Here's what I will leave everyone, including you, with.
All right, bud, send it out on a high note.
And this will put you back in the right frame of mind
Okay.
after I just made you tiny. Every journey has a starting point.
Yeah, but we're gonna die soon. We don't have time.
Then we'll be like Jerry Garcia. They'll be like, we were listening to Marlon and JD long before everybody else was.
I'm gonna go out with that. That was well done.
We'll catch you on the flip side, my friend.
Thanks, bud.
All right, partner. Have
Yeah.
a good day. All right,
Bye.
man.